and special interests. The dazzling effect of power and special interest and the ethical blindness that causes. Does that sound familiar, my colleagues? Can you relate to that in this body? Is that not at work here tonight? Is that not at work here tonight? One of our colleagues said this is about truth. I think many of our colleagues have. Yes, this is a moment of truth. With all of these votes of this kind, we define ourselves as a Congress. We define ourselves as a country. When the American people listen into this debate, we're either relevant to their lives or we are not. And I think no place, well, the competition for this honor is so keen that it's hard to tell which is the worst piece of legislation the Republicans have brought to the floor. But this certainly ranks right up there. Certainly ranks right up there to prove how out of touch the Republicans are with the American people. How out of touch they are with people, the middle class, who are sweating it out this summer in more ways than one. Sweating out the price of gasoline at the pump, a bill born of corruption in this body. Seniors sweating it out in terms of paying for prescription drugs at the pharmacy, where more middle-income seniors are paying more for their prescription drugs. Sweating it out in terms of the college tuition that they're going to have to paste together to send their children to college, while the Republicans pass legislation that gives tax breaks to the 75 wealthiest families in America and freezes Pell Grants. And also cuts billions of dollars to student loan program. Paycheck to paycheck, trying to make ends meet, to make the future better for their children. But this Congress proves it over and over again, it has no relationship to that challenge. None. And so I hope my colleagues in this moment of truth will remember the words of His Holiness when he quoted a saint, St. Augustine, who many years ago said, unless government promotes justice, you're just a bunch of thieves. I can't think of a more appropriate analogy than that for what is happening here today. We are robbing the future of America's families who are struggling for a better future for their children in order to give a tax cut of $800 billion. $800 billion. So not only is this a burden to these low-income families, they're saying to them, your children and future generations and everyone alive and paying taxes today will be paying for $800 billion added to our national debt. Values? Foisting that onto our children and to the American taxpayer. Values, putting a sham bill together to give political cover for the cowards who won't stand up and bring a clean bill to this floor to see where the choice would be. I have no doubt that there are some right-thinking Republicans who would support a clean increase in the minimum wage. But we'll soon find out when the motion to recommit is brought to the floor later this evening, which will have a clean minimum wage and will increase in the minimum wage, and we'll also have the extenders. Interesting about the extenders, the Republicans are using them as an excuse to get votes for their political ploy they have here tonight. They have been expired for 6 months. They have needed to be extended for 6 months. But the Republicans always want to wheel them out so they can attract votes to their, as Mr. Rangel called, their stinkaroo of a bill. But my colleagues, this is deadly serious. We're here to get the job done for the American people. We're not here to give money, a transfer of wealth to the wealthiest people in America. And who pays the price? The middle class. Well, if we are going to survive as a democracy, a healthy democracy which is a model to the world, it's about time we understood that central to that democracy is a thriving, expanding middle class whose jobs we are here to do. Let's have tax cuts for them, not for the wealthiest people in the country, and send the tax bill to the middle class. Let's remember the words of His Holiness, promote justice, oppose this rule, oppose this bill, and let's get serious about helping the American people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman from Washington.
I'd ask my friend from Massachusetts if he